Hi, and welcome to another Stoic Meditation. And today we shall be focusing on the present. I know that sounds like a rather cliche idea for a meditation, but the spin on this episode, or on this series rather, is that we will be inserting some fundamental ideas of Stoic philosophy. So, what does that look like for this video? Well, today I will guide you through a basic grounding exercise to keep your mind in the present moment, and then I will be talking to you about the philosophical underpinnings of the Stoic idea of what the present actually is. That the past is only a memory and not actually ever in existence, and the future is only your ideas of potentiality, but the future never comes, since the present is all there ever is. Now, I'd like to guide you through these first few exercises just to keep you in the present, so you can fully understand what I say. The point of a grounding exercise, of course, as you will know, is to utilize one of your senses to make the observation of that feeling the primary target of your mind, so that you are not thinking about something anxiously in the future or something worryingly in the past, but instead your brain, your thoughts are occupied with what you are experiencing in the present moment. This idea gets a little bit confused, and people sometimes wonder why there are mantras, there are chants, people people breathe, people do body scans. All of these various things are just easy psychological and practical examples of ways that you can occupy your mind with what is happening now. It's as basic as that. So I'm going to guide you through a mindfulness, meaning that you are thinking about and being mindful about what is happening now. And I'm going to give you a scan of your body, just to see also if you have any collected tension or anything of the sort. Now, starting at the top of the head, do you feel anything at all on your scalp? Do you have a tickling feeling in your hair or lack thereof? Do you have any tightness, any increased tone? As it's said in medicine, the tone is the underlying tension that a muscle has. Moving down your eyebrows, your jawbone, your lips, your mouth, your cheeks, your ears, behind your ears or the back of your neck. Does anything feel tense? You have sensations other than tension. Perhaps if you have just realized your tension and you have minimized it, you have a feeling of relaxation, of a tightness in your muscle which has now gone away. Moving further down the front of the neck, the back of the neck, the spine. Have you been looking at your phone or down at a laptop for long periods of time? Do you stack too many pillows behind your head at night? Perhaps you have a dull ache at the back of your neck from this behaviour. Of course, it's widely known that humans are developing the hunched neck position because of our time on technology and use of superfluous pillows. Moving further down to your trapezius and shoulders. Are your shoulders tight? Are your shoulder caps sore from perhaps lifting up or lifting to the side? Perhaps your chest is tight. Tightness or heaviness or fullness in the chest can indicate many different things. Some people feel a tightness or even a pain in their chest from anxiety. Sometimes with anxiety you can get chest pain from the increased adrenaline which fills your system during a more severe episode of anxiety. Maybe your biceps, the muscles at the front, or your triceps, the muscles at the back, feel some sort of tension or pain. Have you pulled a muscle recently? What sensations can you feel there? Moving on, your abdominals and your lower back. In combination, these two are your core. This is where your core strength is. Your abdominal muscles sit at your front and midsection, and your transverse abdominis is a muscle that's a bit deeper, which sits a bit lower and wraps around and attaches to some bony prominences behind your back. Moving down to your thighs, your hamstrings, behind your knees. Do you feel anything there? Your calves. Do you feel any pressure? Can you feel any contact pressure from whatever it is that you are using to support yourself? Can you feel contact pressure with the ground? What are you experiencing in the current moment? Moving on. Now you are likely maybe a little bit grounded in the present moment. I'd like to talk to you about what the Stoics view existence as. In Stoic philosophy, the past is non-existent, and so is the future. Just like yesterday and tomorrow are ideas for things which we name, really, they never come into existence because today is the only day that there ever is. When you venture to tomorrow, it will be today. What does this mean? Is this some kind of wishy-washy philosophical nonsense? Clearly tomorrow exists, and clearly yesterday did too. I mean, I can see the effects that it has had on my life, and I can predict things which will happen in the future. Yes and no. This is not a wishy-washy philosophical practice. It's actually a statement about the fundamental nature of existence. But you cannot predict things which happen in the future because nothing happens in the future. The future is an idea. When things happen in the future, they are happening in the present. If I predict something is going to happen in 5 minutes, it doesn't happen in 5 minutes. It happens in 5 minutes from my present self experiencing it now till then. And when it happens, it will be happening in the current moment. The Stoics believe that the human existence, existentially and practically, is a continual stream of presence. Potentiality and things which happen in the future are, therefore, ideas. They are predictive ideas about things which will occur in the present in some other time than now, or things which have occurred in the present in some other times before. But the interesting thing here lays in the fact that everyone only ever experiences reality in the present. Everyone has the same amount of life. Not the same amount of total life, but no one experiences reality faster or slower because everyone experiences reality only in the present. What does this mean? Well, it means tomorrow never really comes because we exist in a continual stream, and maybe that second when the clock ticks over, you are in tomorrow. But that's fairly semantic. In reality, the transition is smooth, with your thoughts existing in every second, every moment. Not disappearing, not jumping, but continually existing. If you are to die when you are young, or if you are to die when you are old, you both die while experiencing the same amount of life, being that you both die while you are in present moment. This, in some aspects, can still sound like a word game. But when you get down to the practical semantics of what it actually means, you can see what they are talking about. Since Stoicism is, of course, a practical philosophy. It's a guide. It's to tell you what to do. Well, let's go through it. If you are in a plane crash, a rather extreme example, but I think one which suffices for our purposes. If you are in a plane crash and you only observe and stay in the present moment, the actual, tangible calculability of the pain or negative experience which you have is rather small. It sounds almost heretical to say, doesn't it? But the vast majority of suffering exists in worry and anxiety, in our chemically driven and build-up systems in our body, which force us to experience reality in a different way by focusing on preparing ourselves for the future. based on our experiences in the past or our assumptions on what the future will be. The vast majority of your pain that you will experience in this crash will be your feeling of panic. You have a fear about what will happen in the future, and thus that extreme panic overtakes you and causes peril. But if you were to go through the entire experience, second by second, only finding interest in what happens in the present moment, then you would have a dramatically different experience. If you are undergoing pain, an existential view of your pain will give you dramatic nihilism. But if you are experiencing one instance of pain is not much, here you can see how your view of reality is changed by viewing it as a whole and rather second by second. To feel extreme pain and go, this is my existence and this is going to happen for such a long time, gives you a dramatic experience different to that of experiencing the pain second by second. If you are in pain, you will feel pain, but you can say, this amount of pain that I'm experiencing now is bad, but I can experience it for this second. And when the next second comes, I can experience it for this second. This level of suffering that I'm experiencing now is an amount which I can deal with. But rather the majority of your mind and of your brain and its concern for the experience doesn't lay in breaking it apart, but lays in the consumption of the idea of the entire experience as a whole, instead of having an understanding that in the timeline of existence, a traumatic incident is only ever experienced 1 second at a time. You view the entire incident compounding each second together to make the experience far more worse. You will view reality very differently in this mindset. The problem is you can only ever experience 1 second of pain. You can't experience more because the present doesn't exist in a longer time than that. You just experience series of 1 second in a row. And the rest is your prediction. Do you understand yet what it is that I mean? Everything in life only exists 1 second at a time, whatever it is. And you can bear and you can deal with 1 second. Was this second okay? How about this second now? As the plane comes crashing down and you grip the seat and your knuckles whiten, you can feel the drop in your stomach. This second is fine. This second is fine. I feel a drop in my stomach. But it's only a drop in my stomach, and I'm only experiencing it for 1 second. The next second, I'm still experiencing the drop in my stomach, but I'm only experiencing it for 1 second. And then, inevitably, the end of the ride. But you'll find, just as in life, the end only lasts for a second. I hope this helps you, as it's helped me many a time. Goodbye, dear friends.